Hello, in this video we're going to create something like this. We're going to use the background class and create something like this with a background that scrolls forever and then it also syncs to your camera. Okay, let's create new projects. Raylib background. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is to copy in the camera class from the PowerPoint. Oh, not here. I want you to copy in the camera class and the background class. So let's do that right now. So there's going to be, well, let me create a header file first again. This keyword being include raylib.h, include raylib.raymap, and then two more header files, one for my camera, and then one for my background. And I'm sorry if I'm whispering and you can't hear me. It's just kind of late. Camera, background, just copy them in. Remember, you're free to change these classes however you like. Get rid of the CVP. The background class. Okay, so I don't have to. Yeah, I do. The header.h and then instantly return 0. So yeah, I'm just setting up a simple Raylib project structure. Begin drawing, end drawing, clear background, and then clear background black. So okay, yeah, we're ready to use some background class, but first we need the camera class. Okay, so let's have global variables here. So my camera, make sure to include the camera, my camera class, and then the background. Okay, so set up the camera, use the camera constructor, move it to 0, 0. So it's position, oh sorry, my camera. So it's position, speed, and then the locked, which we're not really using, so just set it to false. And then let's set up a background as well. So what does the background take in? So let's look at it. It takes in the texture, position, offset, distance, and scale. So we're gonna need a texture. So let's find one. Let's go on itch.io. Sorry. Get rid of this. Okay, sorry. Background, and let's use this one. This one is a really good one. So download. Okay, so actually I already have it. Let's just delete the old one. So extract it and then find the background. So like inside of here, you're gonna find several different versions of the same background. So this one is separated into the layers. I want the one where all of the stuff are put together, the preview version. This is the one I want. So take it, cut it, and then in your file directory, find your projects. So that's probably this PC, and then users, and then source, repos, and then go to where your projects is. So in here, inside this folder where you see your CP files, your header files, this is where you want to create a folder for your assets. So create a folder, call it asset, and then put your image in here. So we have the texture ready, we should have to load it into this project. And the way you do that is with this load texture, and then you put in asset background, just like that. And then let's do position 0, 0. For now, let's just have offset be 0, 0. But then I'll give it a value later, and you'll see exactly what it does. So distance, for now just 1, and then scale 1 as well. Okay, so we have these two variables initialized. We just need to do all of the camera function calls. So camera take input, and then we don't need bound checking for the camera. And then background, draw background, and this function takes in a camera position. It takes in a Boolean value for whether or not you want the vertical shift turned off, and then a background padding of 2. That is how many times you repeat the background. If you don't know what that means, I'll explain it very soon. And the color is just the color tints over the whole background. So let's do that. The first one, camera position, camera pause, and then for now, keep this to remove vertical shift. Let's do true, and then the background padding. Yeah, 2 is good, and then color white. So let's run it. Let's see what happens. I don't see anything. It failed to open properly. Oh, it's probably the background.png. Right now it's working. So that's the background, and then it scrolls infinitely. The way it works is like this. Sorry. Oh, it's probably the other way. Okay, so think of it like this. Let me pull up the image first. So we have this background, and this background it loops so that you can make a copy of this background and then put it in front of it or behind it, and it will connect perfectly. So you need a background like that, and with backgrounds like those, if you want an infinite background, you can repeat them an infinite amount of times, right? And then you have an infinite background. But then there's another way to do it, where you don't have to create infinite amounts of background images. The way I do it is I just draw it 5 times, and then I have the center one as like the main one. So initially, the program starts with something like this, where the background is like this, and then the camera is this purple rectangle, and then everything within this purple rectangle is whatever you're seeing on the screen. So let's say you scroll the camera to like the right, and it looks something like this. Notice how when you reach this point, it appears as if every single one of these images are the same. There's no difference between these two, right? So once the camera reaches this position, the background is ready to be repositioned, and then you reposition it back to here. And this way, with just 5 backgrounds, you can make it last forever. And it wouldn't always be 5 backgrounds. If this background is too small, you might need like 10, and then if it's huge, maybe you need like 3. And same idea on the other side. Once the camera reaches the left side of the first left background, the entire background is ready to be repositioned. So so yeah, and the background just grows infinitely. So let me show you a few more things that you can do with this class. And it's really just these 2 functions that allow you to set the position of the background above or below a certain line. So let's first create a line. It will actually just be a float number. Let's do a line, and then initialize it to like whatever value you want. Let's do like 200, right? And then let's draw it out. Let's draw a rectangle. And then the position x will be like 0, and then y is the line minus camera, the camera position, get past the line. And then the width is the width of the screen, so it's get screen width. And then the height, it can just be a small number like that. Color, let's make it red. So, oops. But let's just see what happens. So we have a line here, and then we're gonna call those 2 functions using this value. So let's do this. Background dot set position above line. So let's see what happens. So the background right now is set to be above this red line, and then if you call the other function set below line, it's below it. So this is just a good way to reposition the background. There's also this one you can do. This is the offset. So like it takes in the texture, and then it takes in the position, and then the position offset. The reason why I split the 2, position and position offset, is so that if you have different layers for the background and you want them to be at the same position, you just want to shift one of the layers by a little bit. You just change the value here. They're still at the same position, but it shifted just a little bit. So like let's do 100, and then that would probably like shift it horizontally. I mean vertically, sorry. So you see 100, it shifts it down, so I guess the negative value will shift it up. Yeah, and then you can also shift it horizontally, but you're not really gonna notice the difference. Yeah. So that's the um yeah, that's the thing. Oh, you can also change the scale so that it's much bigger or much smaller. So now the background's much bigger. You change it depending on what your game needs. And then this distance, this actually changes the speed at which the background scrolls. And this is really useful if you have like layers of background, which we'll probably do in the next video. So like I put 0.1. Okay, the background scrolling much faster. This value is the distance. So 0.1, a smaller value means it's closer, and then a bigger value means it's further away. And when it's closer, it scrolls a lot faster. And then when it's further away, it scrolls a lot slower. Into like value time, it's gonna scroll very little. Yeah. Uh, the code will be in the comments below, but then these I'm also going to provide the link to the Google Slides, but you have to create these files yourself. You have to copy them in yourself.